Now.
I call this regular January meeting of the Luray Town Council to order. Let's all rise for a moment of silence, please. If you would join me in our pledge of allegiance to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, Danielle, will you please call the roll?
Mayor Dolphmeyer,
Here.
Mr. Vickers,
Here.
Mr. Sharrow,
Here.
Mr. Pettit,
Here.
Mr. Sowers,
Here.
Mr. Webb.
Here.
All right, are there any additions or deletions from the agenda? To the agenda, whatever. Anybody? Okay. Continuity in the government of Luray, Virginia. This meeting of the Luray Town Council is being held pursuant to the April 13th, 2020 ordinance for continuity in the government of Luray. The town clerk shall read the names of the council members present and identify those who are electronically present. The town manager is responsible for receiving public comment in advance of the meeting, which may be submitted by mail, email, phone, or hand delivery by 5 p.m. on the day of the meeting. In-person attendance and comment by the public is also permitted, subject to the limitations of the most recent executive order and phasing guidelines issued by Governor Northam. This meeting can be viewed live on the town's Facebook page, and a recording will be available on the town's YouTube channel. Minutes from the meeting will be posted on the town's website after being approved by the town council. All right, we move on. All right, no citizen comments, Mr. Burke? Okay, all right. All right, consent agenda, council.
Well, Mayor, I'd like to move to approve the following consent agenda. The minutes of the regular council meeting of December 14th, 2020, the financial statements ending December 31st, 2020, and accounts payable checks totaling $89,916.89.
Second?
Second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Do I do that or Danielle does?
But you normally read through the names. But
Usually as a roll call.
Okay, Danielle, we do the roll call, please.
Mr. Vickers?
Yes.
Mr. Sharrow,
Yes.
Mr. Pettit,
Yes.
Mr. Sowers,
yes.
Mr. Webb.
Yes.
Okay, before we keep going, I want to welcome, we have two new members, Mr. Ligon Webb, Mr. Jason Pettit. Welcome. Congratulations on your victory.
Thank
Glad
you.
to have both of you.
Good to be here.
Joey, congratulations on your reelection.
Thanks, sir.
I don't want to
Thank
pass you back. Okay. All right, I guess we're to Mr. Burke.
Well, the flight test aerospace representative is not here, so we have representatives from the chamber and LBI.
Okay. Gina?
Good afternoon, Mayor and Town Council. So I want to start off by also say congratulations. So congratulations to you, Jerry, for your winnings, as well as for Jason Pettit and Ligon, and then congratulations to Joey for getting reelected. So
Thank you.
absolutely. So looking forward to partnering with you all. So a couple things. You have a packet that's in front of you. I apologize with the new technology. I did not realize that's a little bit different. My email wouldn't go through, so I'm going to hijack the meeting a little bit differently. You have a printed version. I'll leave Steve my flash drive, so if you guys want a digital copy, he can provide that to you as well. So to go through that, wanted to let you know our new board of directors that also took place starting in January. We have a couple new ones, as well as some new ones that are on the executive officers. So Chris Jenkins is going to be our new chair of the board. Mark Dolphmeyer is going to stay the vice chair. Desiree Beers is going to move up. She's going to become our secretary, since Stephanie is no longer on our board. Randa Cave will stay our treasurer. Mark Leach will become our past chair. And then John Schaefer will continue to be our chair of the tourism division. Our following board members, we have 3 new ones. We have Bart Patton, he's with Patton Gunsmith Works. Tanya Jones with Red Zinnia Consulting. Travis Clark with Valley Health Memorial Hospital. Those are our 3 new ones. And the ones continuing to serve is Daryl Haley, Dave Thomas, Kim Blosser, and Mitch Lovinger. So we have some great board members, and looking forward to 2021. Also in there, you have our Tourism Council. That's new for the 2021 year as well. The Chamber staff, it's just 4 of us. It's myself, as well as Clancy Arnold, who is in charge of our membership, and then Edie Emmons, our social media and marketing, and then Courtney Sternberger is our tourism and chamber assistant out front. A couple updates for you guys. Since the last time I've been here. So we want to thank the town and the Parks Rec for helping us out with the love letters out front for the season. So the fall love letters and the Christmas love letters that were out there, those turned out great as always. Lots of people stopping by and taking pictures. We have sent several emails out. If you're not on that email list that you receive either every Monday or others, please let us know. We'll be happy to add that to you, or your email address. That way you guys are informed of everything that we can possibly send out. And the information that we're sending out, other than things about our own events at the chamber, is anything that I receive from BTC or VRLTA or from the governor, just to be able to keep our businesses and our community aware of everything that is happening and what's in the policy and the process. Some of that information that we sent out, if you didn't receive as well, we've received 3 grants this year. So in fall of 2019, at the end of the fall, we received the $25,000 for the Go Play Outside in Luray Page. Then in the summer of 2020, they produced a small little grant that we applied for, which was Wonder Love, for $10,000. And then the fall of 2020 of this year, we received another $20,000 grant from BTC for Exploring the Great Outdoors, which is basically a continuation of the Wonder Love. And those 2 kind of came out because of the COVID situation. So that's a lot of extra money that the Visitor Center and the Chamber can use to promote and advertise Page County for people to come here and let them know that we are safe and we are open. Some events that we were able to continue having, a little bit different. Some were turned into virtual events. We kind of went back to in-person events a little bit. And then now in the winter season, we're back to not having any in-person as of right now, just because we don't have a big enough space to host any, large numbers. So there's a list of all of the events that we still continue to have. We were able to still do several ribbon cuttings. Blue Ridge Bank ribbon cutting, in partnership also with the West Luray Rec Center, the Valley Cork with the new ownership there. We did a ribbon cutting there. Valley Eye Clinic celebrated their 30-year anniversary. So we're still able to do some celebrations with some ribbon cuttings. We did some business after hours. The women in business got together, but all in all, not a lot more virtual events than anything. There's our information on all of our social media pages. Make sure you follow us on those. We have chamber pages as well as the visit pages for more tourism-based things like that. Also, we have a blog that's posted every month on our website. Make sure you are reading those, whether it's in our loop or you just go straight to our website. And that'll inform you of the different things that we're targeting towards that month and mentioning the different businesses in the community and highlighting them in different ways based on whatever theme that we're writing about in that blog. We also keep up blogs with the Cabin Capital page and the wedding page. We do those on a quarterly basis. So the main website, we do one every month, and then the other 2 websites, we do them on a quarterly basis. The next 3 slides there is our website stats. These are from November, though, because I was actually coming to present last month. So those numbers are based on from November 2019 to 2020. The ones that I like to really compare is the very last one, which is the year over year. Those are the best numbers to compare. So if you can see from the prior year up until right now, that is quite a difference from only 47, almost 48,000, all the way up to 233,000. So our web hits and all of our presence on our website has tremendously went up with all of our advertising and things like that.
Any idea why that happened? I mean, that's fantastic.
It is. So a lot of it has to do with the content we're putting on the website. We're trying to use better photography, a lot more visual. There's videos also now on the website. So we're trying to change those out on a regular basis to keep up with that. Also with our advertising with the company we use, White 64, they have specifically targeted our website for all of our ads. So if you'll see here in a minute, I'll show you some stats, and those numbers and the impressions and the click-through rate has also done very well. Even though with the negativity of COVID, that has also helped quite a bit, just because we have been sort of that great location for people to want to come to get away from the city life. So for them clicking on some of our ads, for them to come here has also helped quite a bit. Let's see here. Some of the advertising that we did during COVID is the next couple slides. We partnered with the U.S. Travel, which is the Spirit of Travel. We also partner with VTC quite a bit with the We'll Be Waiting For You campaign. Slide number 13, it does look like a bunch of trees, but if you get the electronic copy, you'll be able to click on the video, and that strictly talks about the partnership we did with VTC. It is a video strictly of Page County, but it talks about We'll Be Waiting For You. So while we were sort of in that phase 1 shutdown, it really was still keeping people top of mind that Page County is still here, and when it is safe to travel, to please keep us in mind. Don't cancel your vacations, just maybe postpone them to the fall time. So that's really what that campaign and video was about, just letting them know that we're still here. The next 3 slides, you'll see we do a monthly ad with different publications. So we're trying to keep top of mind with the COVID and things like that as a reminder. Still wanted to use the great photography and pictures, but we changed our messaging. For an example, the first one says, "Get away and find yourself again." We are open with miles of social distancing, so it's a little tagline that we use, letting people know that we are, open, we're safe, but, we have plenty of miles, whether you want to go up to the park or anywhere around here. It's plenty of space for social distancing. The Be Free, we are open with miles of social distancing, and then the winter one right now is Rejuvenate Yourself in the tranquility of nature. So once again, it's just basically getting out here and getting away from the city life and re-emphasizing that. The next 2 slides are also sort of electronic, to where you can actually see the ads move. So the still picture doesn't do it justice. You'll have to watch those 2. This is the campaign that we ran. That is the part of the stats that I have to share with you. And this was based off of the because of COVID. So the messaging here that we did, it says, "Stay 6 feet from others while getting closer to nature. Come get away from it all, or only get away for a little bit." So that was talking about, come to our cabins, cabin capital, stay in a cabin, get away, but still enjoy nature. Other one was small towns, big wide open spaces. Come get away from it all. So those stats in our fall report did very well. We ran it from September the 2nd through October the 31st. We ran it only on social media, so Facebook and Instagram. Our target area, we did narrow a little bit than what we typically do, so we concentrated just on Virginia, Maryland, Pennsylvania, and West Virginia. So we narrowed our search a little bit for the ones that were closer to be able to drive to us. The impressions that we got was 1,840,903 impressions, which is basically that's how many people saw these videos. Actual click-throughs was 56,687. So just within these 2 campaigns, we had 56,000 within itself. Just click on those ads and took them to our website, which is a 3.08 click-through rate, which is well above the industry average. The Facebook ads performed a lot better than the Instagram ads, and the cabin advertisement did a lot better than the hiking one as well. So everybody was interested in the cabin ones, and I was constantly answering Facebook messages because they were asking, which cabin is this, where is this located? So we were constantly in communication with them to be able to give them more information that we are the cabin of capital. We have 400 plus cabins to choose from, and then we found out more information what they were looking for, which led into hopefully sending out an email to our lodging folks letting them know about a cabin lead, and then was hopefully to get them a booking. So it was good. We also did SEM, which is search engine management, and out of that we had 242,340 impressions, which equaled out 16,126 clicks, which was a 6.65 click-through rate, which is definitely well above industry average. So the fall campaign that we did did very, very well. The next couple ads that you see here, these are not out in publications. You're getting the first look at them compared to anybody else. These will be the 2021 ads that will be coming out in magazines. So the first one there is the VTC Travel Guide. So that is a co-op sponsorship that you'll see the other ads. So Copper Fox and Shenandoah River Outfitters, Downriver All-Star, and Shenandoah National Park advertises in that along with us. So it gets us a wider spread and more coverage in that book, and we pretty much have the most coverage that anybody else advertises in that book. The next one is the Shenandoah Valley Travel Association ads. We also co-op this out, and that gives us a wider spread. Luray Caverns takes out their own ads, so we pretty much have, once again, a double trucker ad, is what they call it, which is 2 pages. The last one is the VRLTA ad that we put in, which is the Virginia Restaurant Travel Association. The next two is the ad campaign that our partners have came up with in conjunction to what you all wanted us to give you all in regards to COVID. So you all provided us and LDI some funds to be able to advertise and let everybody know about COVID and things like that for the CARES Act money. So this is this is 2 of the ads they've created so far. These are still images because most of our money, pretty much the whole amount of money for the campaign is going to be spent in the spring. But we wanted them to go ahead and produce something with a picture and the writing for us to go ahead and kind of organically put out there ourselves. So we've been sharing it, LDI's been sharing it, the town's been sharing it. So we're already getting this picture and that message already out there. But once that ad starts in the spring, that'll obviously generate a lot more impressions and click-through rates and things like that, talking about coming and visit the town of Luray and how safe it is. So like I said, those are the 2 there, and the sayings that went along with it. The shopping one, the town of Luray is perfect for getting away from all the hustle and bustle of the city and getting some fresh air. Small town with big wide open spaces. And then the other one was of the Greenway. So we have a family there with a dog. We may be a small town with small crowds, but we've got big wide open spaces full of fresh air and beautiful views. Come see yourself, for yourself. So those are 2 campaigns. Those campaigns will also not be still when they do the spring one. They will be like the electronic version that's in a couple slides prior. So as the picture is kind of moving, the words will come on the screen. So it's going to be a little bit more visual and to look at and play on. Some future campaigns that we're working on. We're currently working on the 2021 Visitors Guide, Destination Guide for the Visitor Center. We are still working on our Wanderlove campaign, and what's going to come out of that is itineraries. Everybody wants kind of a prefabbed itinerary already typed up and written out and put on a website so they can kind of read it and be like, yeah, I want to do exactly what you have there for 3 days. Or they can read it and kind of puts them into that. That sounds wonderful. That sounds like perfect for my family or for just me and my husband. So we have different itineraries based on different topics, and then featuring, once again, the businesses in the community to feature in those. Then we're working on your all's campaign, and then we have our spring and summer campaign coming out as well. Some website changes that you'll also see is our photos will continue to change, our blogs will continue to change every month. The itineraries will be added to the website very soon, so that'll be a brand new page there. We're going to be working on the live, work, and play section for people wanting to relocate here. We're going to beef that up a little bit since we have a lot of people wanting to buy our houses up and relocate here or have a second home. And then we also have a feature that's already on there now. We're just going to enhance it. So on the Cabin Capital site, we do have a feature on there for them to search for lodging, but we are beefing that up and we're going to move it to the home page. That way it's not hidden just on the Cabin Capital. It'll be on the home page. And then they can go through and they can search for how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, how many can sleep, if they want in the mountains, the river, whatnot, and then it'll pull up exactly which ones fit that criteria. And it'll narrow their search down quite a bit. And then hopefully we'll get some more bookings. So that's all my updates. Y'all have any questions?
Gina, it seems to me, and through personal experience, things are just going very well. Is that your, you don't get that feeling at the chamber as far as
We do.
the last several months?
I mean, as probably anybody else, we have our good days and our bad days. But all in all, you know, even with the negativity of the COVID thing, as far as the tourist side of things, That has been very positive. We have not slowed down one bit. I mean, ever since we pretty much opened back up and from the county, we have been very busy and booming. Our lodging has done very well. And then obviously everything from there has benefited as well. As far as some businesses though, on a personal level that don't benefit from the tourist side of things, I know our wedding venues have suffered a little bit, you know, our transportation with Richards Bus Line. So there are some that have, you know, went the other way. So some have benefited and then some unfortunately are, you know, struggling to where we're trying to do what we can to help promote and help them out. We did a lot of campaigns together. I didn't put that in my presentation, but we did a whole month-long Small Business Saturday campaign instead of just one weekend. We did an entire month. I think that helped out quite a bit. And then we'll be gearing up here to do Restaurant Week. I'm sure a meeting here soon to kind of gear that up and help out our restaurants and things like that. So always trying to partner with our 3 towns, LDI and the county, just to see if there's anything else, you know, that we can do to help them during this situation. So
Thank you, Gene.
you're welcome.
Thanks. Thanks, Jan.
Thanks, Gene.
Absolutely.
Meredith?
Mayor, congratulations
Thank you, Meredith.
to you gentlemen here on my left. Congratulations to you as well.
Thank you. Thanks.
I feel like I haven't been here in a couple of months, so I'm excited to see you all in person. I will keep it brief. I don't have a ton to go over, but I just wanted to let you guys know about a couple things that are happening with LDI. Right now, we are in our second round of facade improvement grants. So if you'll remember last year, we brought that back, raised the funds to restart that grant program, and we're able to continue it into the season. So by the end of the month, I would say in the next week or two, you will see 3 new businesses, new properties in Luray and downtown receive a facade improvement grant from LDI as well to help with the exterior of their buildings. So we're really proud of this program, and even through the pandemic, we have seen more property interest and rehabilitation interest in property in the downtown district than I could have ever imagined. So we're really pleased to see that, and if LDI can help them financially get over that hump to make those improvements to help downtown look a little bit better, then we're just glad to help. So you guys will see 3 new businesses hopefully by the end of next week. I wanted to let you know that we are accepting applications for the new director for LDI for my role here. We've got some in already, but certainly if there's anybody that you all know out there who has been on the fence, I'd love to help answer questions and get that right person. So we're hoping to begin having interviews. Of course, that can be difficult while we're all trying to socially distance, but certainly if you guys have questions about that or know an applicant, please send them my way. And then
What's the application deadline? It's pretty soon, right?
it was Friday.
Oh, okay. I thought-
Yeah, and we did receive, in total, I would say about 8 applications or 8 resumes from local folks here in the town. I had a few calls, believe it or not, from outside of the town, folks asking if they could do it remotely from like one person was looking from Middleburg. So it was just very interesting to hear the different applicants. But I had a lot of phone calls, a lot of questions. So that to me says that the community's paying attention. They heard that the position is open. Maybe it's right for them or maybe it's not. But I think the response has been good. But as I mentioned to you, most of you all in person, we're just really looking for the right one. And then last but not least, the Pocket Park. I know, Mayor, you touched on that briefly, and I said, Brian's got the team laser focused down there. But you did see a banner up. So that was a partnership with Parks and Rec and PACA, just to let folks know what's going on there, that this is a project that the town is working on. So we'll have that banner. And then PACA has also agreed to put up one of the Pocket Park banners. So like the one over here at Sly Pocket Park, or as you see throughout town. So it'll get a little extra flair there. You'll also begin to see donation information come about to help us pay for some of those amenities, like park benches and bike racks. So you'll see that information come out. It's on the LDI website already. So if you have questions about that, let us know.
Do we have a timetable on construction on Creekside Commons, or?
Yeah,
Is
so
that supposed to start? Or?
the long and short of it is we're hoping to have it done June-ish of next year, but I will defer to Brian on a more exact timeline
far as, most of the infrastructure, below grade stuff will be done in the next month, and then once the weather warms up this spring, then we can start doing concrete and asphalt, and then that will be some of the amenities.
You won't get to see the pretty stuff until the very end, but I tell folks all the time at DHCD in Richmond, you know, we're working on the project, you just can't see it yet. So the infrastructure, the shoring up of the cliffside there, and the VDOT work with the drainage is all stuff that will happen before the trees and plants go in.
Thank you, Meredith.
Thanks.
Thanks, Meredith.
All right, so now we will go into a public hearing. We'll open the public hearing. The town council is requested to conduct a public hearing to receive public input and to consider a request for a special use permit received from Mark and Christine Johnson of 10 North Court Street, tax map number 42A10-A-49, which is zone business B1 to operate the existing structure as a 3-unit apartment. Town Code 406.2 identifies that apartment houses can be permitted in the business B1 district with a special use permit. And as you all see, the planning commission unanimously recommended approval. So I don't see anybody here to speak. Is that correct?
No, sir, we received no
Okay.
comments.
So that being the case, I will close the public hearing. Council, your thoughts?
Mayor, I'll move that town council approve the special use permit to operate a 3-unit apartment at 10 North Court Street as presented.
Second that.
Any discussion? Danielle?
Mr. Gyro.
Yes.
Mr. Pettit.
Yes.
Mr. Sowers.
Yes.
Mr. Webb.
Yes.
Mr. Vickers.
Yes.
Now, Steve, we'll be back to you. Up to you, whatever.
You can be, yes, sir.
Yes, let's go ahead.
First two items that you have on your agenda tonight are proclamations of recognition. The first being for former Mayor Barry Prescott, and the second being for former Councilman and Vice Mayor Leroy Lancaster.
Steve, if we could we, I'd like to amend or propose that we make an addition to the proclamation for Mr. Lancaster, in that it's whereas Leroy Lancaster served the residents of the town of Luray as a member of the town council from July 1988 until December 2020 without missing a meeting during that time. I think that's important if we add that. That's 32 years.
I can agree with that. I second that motion.
Are we going to add the other part?
Oh, yes, sir.
Yes.
Councilman Pettit, before the meeting, had identified that we have a copy mistake in Councilman Lancaster's proclamation in the now therefores. If council would approve us adding the word vice mayor, and now therefore be it resolved that the vice mayor and member of town council of the town of Luray, and then skipping on down, 32 tenure as vice mayor and town councilman.
I'll make that motion, that we make that addition to the proclamation.
You had a motion on, I think.
Yeah.
Did we vote on the motion to amend Barry's?
We haven't yet.
Well, it wasn't Barry's,
Well,
it was
it wasn't Barry's, it was.
I mean,
it was, yeah.
Leroy's, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
it's Leroy's.
They're both
Yeah.
for Leroy's? Okay.
Well,
so-
we have two. We have one for Barry and one for Leroy,
No,
right?
it's the same. It's both for Leroy.
Yeah, both amendments
We
were
have
for
amendments.
Leroy.
Well, both
on
amendments
item
are
B.
for Leroy, but we have two resolutions, right? One for Barry.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
But we need to approve the amendments before we approve the resolution.
A motion to amend the,
It was made and
made
second.
second,
second.
okay.
Just about.
Discussion? Danielle?
Mr. Gyro.
Yes.
Mr. Pettit.
Yes.
Mr. Sowers.
Yes.
Mr. Webb.
Yes.
Mr. Vickers.
Yes.
Now we're at the proclamation for Barry Presgraves. Barry Presgraves.
Well, there's a second amendment that Councilman Pettit had put forward regarding
I want
vice mayor.
second Councilman Pettit. Wordage.
This is my first meeting, y'all.
I know, that's why we're doing this. Welcome welcome aboard.
Thank you. All right, where are we? Help me out here.
All right, you've got a motion and a second to make Jason's amendments.
All right.
The addition of vice mayor.
Okay, so we need to vote on that as well. Okay, all right. Any discussion? Danielle?
Mr. Pettit,
Yes.
Mr. Sowers,
Yes.
Mr. Webb,
Yes.
Mr. Vickers,
Yes.
Mr. Sharrow.
Yes.
Okay. Now we're at Mary Prescott, Mary Prescott.
This is for the proclamation.
This is for the proclamation.
Right, right.
I make a motion to, I guess, to endorse the proclamation as written.
Second that.
Discussion? Danielle?
Mr. Sowers,
Yes.
Mr. Webb,
Yes.
Mr. Vickers,
Yes.
Mr. Sharrow,
Yes.
Mr. Pettit.
Yes.
Okay, then I'll move that we approve the proclamation as amended for recognition of the services of the town of Luray by Leroy Lancaster as presented.
I'll second that.
Discussion? Danielle?
Mr. Webb,
Yes.
Mr. Vickers,
Yes.
Mr. Sharrow,
Yes.
Mr. Pettit,
Yes.
Mr. Sowers.
Yes.
Glad that's over, okay. All right. Let's see, we're on Planning Commission reappointments. Steve, is that you?
Yes, sir. Council's requested to consider reappointing Brian Sowers, Grace Noack, and Frankie Seward to the Planning Commission with terms to expire December 31st, 2024.
I move the town council approve the reappointment of Brian Sowers, Grace Novak, and Frankie Seward to the planning commission with terms to expire on December 31st, 2024 as presented.
I'll second that.
Discussion? Danielle?
Mr. Vickers.
Yes.
Mr. Sharrow,
Yes.
Mr. Pettit,
Yes.
Mr. Sowers,
Yes.
Mr. Webb.
Yes.
Well, we're moving along well now. Okay, Steve?
Council's also requested to consider approving the reappointment of the following members of the Tree and Beautification Committee: Katie Sokol, Alicia Painter, Carol Angers, Kathy Miranda, again with terms to expire December 31st, 2024.
Mayor, I move the town council approve the reappointment of Katie Sokol, Alicia Painter, Carol Andrews, and Katie Miranda to the Tree and Beautification Committee with terms to expire on December 31st, 2024.
Seconded?
Discussion? Danielle?
Mr. Sharrow,
Yes.
Mr. Pettit,
Yes.
Mr. Sowers,
Yes.
Mr. Webb,
Yes.
Mr. Vickers.
Yes.
Your next item is a request for council to appoint a vice mayor, and the mayor can open the floor for nominations.
How many nominations for the position of vice
Well,
mayor?
I certainly have one. I've been waiting for this. I'd like to nominate Jerry Sharrow as vice mayor.
I'd like to second that.
All right, any other nominations?
Is he a willing
I move
recipient
the-
of this honor?
Anybody move the do we close the nominations?
I'd be honored. Yes, thank you.
Like you don't have a choice.
I thought Ron was gonna nominate himself.
That's fine, too.
I was worried about that. Okay, no discussion? All right, Danielle again, please.
Mr. Sharrow,
I guess I have to abstain on that one.
Mr. Pettit,
Yes.
Mr. Sowers,
Yes.
Mr. Webb,
Yes.
Mr. Vickers.
Yes.
Thank you all.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
We're in good hands now.
Yeah. All right, Steve, acceptance of Allison Drive and Frontier Drive?
Yes, sir, this is simply an informational item. The town has received a request from Baker to accept Allison Drive and Frontier Drive into the town's maintenance inventory. Staff have been reviewing the as-built conditions. Brian and Lynn Matthews have identified a few items, both in the road, some of the utilities, and on the sidewalk that need a little further attention by Baker. And so we simply wanted to present to you that most likely at our next meeting, or whenever Baker has addressed the identified deficiencies, staff will be coming back and requesting council's consideration of accepting these roads into the town's maintenance inventory.
So your recommendation is we table this?
Well, take no action
Just no
tonight. This
take
is
no
simply an
action.
informational
All
item.
right. All right, are you next, Steve?
Yes, sir. The town has also received a request from the Lord Fairfax Community College to consider the renaming of Frontier Drive to College Drive. And there is an updated resolution at your seats. The town attorney identified the plat that was previously submitted and recorded that included the name Frontier Drive.
So you're asking for an action on the resolution?
Is there any opposition to this at all? I wouldn't think so, but
We need a motion?
I apologize.
Well, there's a resolution
No
here.
resolution.
Yeah, I apologize. It doesn't look like the cover memo was included in.
No, it wasn't.
In the, staff would request that council consider approving the resolution to rename Frontier Drive to College Drive as presented.
I'll move that we approve the resolution as presented.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? Danielle, please.
Mr. Pettit?
Yes.
Mr. Sowers?
Yes.
Mr. Webb?
Yes.
Mr. Vicker?
Yes.
Mr. Gyro?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Burke, inclement weather policy.
Yes, sir. Again, this is another item that is for information. Again, at your seats, there is a modified version, a red line version that the town attorney has recommended some minor revisions to the last two paragraphs. Staff have developed this policy basically to help staff as well as the supervisors understand how the town will address closures of town hall and how it affects our emergency response staffing. Basically, if we have a delayed opening or an early dismissal, there would be no additional payment to the staff. However, if we are closed for a full day, then we would consider that as a holiday, and then the staff that are working would receive their additional time and a half for the time that the town is closed. We came to this policy based on the fact that there are times when individual departments will close their departments for a funeral or for other items, and the other individuals that continue to work don't receive any additional compensation. So the thought was that if you are here working and we have closures, either early closure or a delayed opening, that there wouldn't be any impact to the time or additional compensation for those that would be typically pushing snow.
Now, this is applicable to essential staff?
Yes, sir.
So, policy prior to this was that if the town office closed an hour earlier, 2 hours earlier, the essential staff required to work would receive that additional compensation, and that does away with that? Am I understanding that?
Well, my understanding is the items that we have in black were what we had originally, so technically it really didn't address how to deal with that.
Isn't that pretty much what we did by practice? Did we compensate the essentials, if you guys closed early?
Late, then, like, the public works, for those 2 hours would be comp, paid time and a half.
And this would do away with that?
Yes, sir.
And then does that comply with Fair Labor Standards?
Fair Labor Standards doesn't really address the closure. Effectively, what we're doing is we're identifying non-essential staff and allowing those offices to be closed.
What I'm talking about is the differential in the compensation. Does that, we're okay with doing that under Fair Labor Standards?
I'll defer to the town attorney.
Oh, that's right, Jason's around here somewhere.
Let me see.
Jason, you awake? Yes, sir. My question was, by not compensating the essential personnel when the office closes early or opens late, does that comply with the requirements under the Fair Labor Standards Act in terms of compensating the employees?
Yes, I believe it does, sir.
Okay.
A couple things under B, there's a two missing. It says, the second sentence ends, are expected to report to work. It's missing that to there. A little typo. And then I had a question on D. Once you find your two there, give you a moment. Report to work. Employees
Okay.
are expected to report to work, yeah. And then under D, what's the rationale for that? So, if someone takes a vacation day, but the office is closed, the other employees are getting the benefit of being, whatever you wanna call it, benefit of being able to stay home for the day, whereas an employee that took a vacation day, now they've burned a vacation day effectively. Is there any issue with just letting them bank that vacation day? I mean,
The rationale is simply that they had not planned to be at work, so whether there was snow or other inclement weather, they were not going to be at work. So the rationale is that there had been no expectation for them to receive any benefit from snow or other.
But they used a vacation day,
Yes, sir.
whereas the staff that were able to stay home, stayed home and didn't use a vacation day.
that would
Yes, sir,
kinda get
but-
stuck in my craw a little bit.
I mean, aside from fair labor standards,
Oh, I mean,
I think
It's the fairness.
it's a question of fairness.
Well,
Even with the office closure, it's a question of fairness with the employees, in my mind, that have to work, that are required to come in and work, and the staff that is told they can come in later or go home early. Seems to me there should be some sort of compensation there for the employees that are working.
Well, and again, some of our police officers with their schedules would not have been scheduled for.
Well,
a
that's
day.
different. I mean, I'm talking about public works crews that have to push snow, the utility operators, those people that would be required to come in and work the full day, whereas others wouldn't be and would be compensated for it. I don't know how I want to feel about it. It just seems like it's a question of fairness in my mind.
Well, I think this addresses that, correct, that those essentials that do have to report if the office is closed for the day,
For the entire day.
right,
But
at
my-
time and a half.
A half day or something like
But
that.
I'm talking about if they open the office at 10, or the weather gets bad and they go home at 2, it's that, then the essential people are not compensated additionally for that.
Okay, so you're saying like those extra.
Yeah, I
2
understand
hours.
if they close it for the entire day, they're compensated, which is. I
No, the
think,
employees, if they have to go home early because of weather, I mean, they don't take vacation time or, okay, because in Madison, we have to take vacation time. So that was kind of new to me. So I think as long as they're not being penalized, non-essential for having to leave early, that's the most important thing.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
Right.
My problem is the essential would have to stay.
Right.
They're not getting any additional compensation.
Right.
That's a tough call, but I know working for the Park Service during all the shutdowns and all, essential people had to work, and they weren't compensated anymore. I mean, doesn't sound fair, but it's done.
Let's go back to the first thing you talked about, was if somebody scheduled vacation time, and then all of a sudden, nobody works that day. I like the idea of not charging them that vacation time, let them use it another time. Because it would seem to be unfair amongst the employees, is what I'm thinking.
I agree with that too.
I agree with that.
Okay, go.
That affects me more than the other. And I'm like you. I worked a whole career that wasn't any different
Yeah.
compensation. Essential
Yeah.
was essential.
Yeah.
Normally, salaries or whatever were a little different, as far as just compensated because of, that level. But it wasn't any overtime when non-essential was off. But the leave issue, I agree. I think that, just as you had mentioned.
Especially
that
imagine a
someone-
blizzard and you took 4
Yeah,
vacation days and you just three
you
of
just
them, the
lost
office was
them while
closed or something.
everyone else was compensated to be at home as well,
Yeah.
so, yeah.
And I agree, I mean, I understand what you're saying, I'm just saying this is but Mary, correct me if I'm wrong, because you've been doing this a lot longer than any of us. This is different from the way we're doing it now.
Yes.
Okay, it's a change, is what I'm saying. In the past, they were
They
compensated.
were compensated in the past.
So this is a change. And if council, I mean,
Where's the change, what's the idea of kind of driving this?
Well, the rationale is, at least from my perspective, departments occasionally will close their doors to attend a funeral, to do other things during the workday. And not everyone else that is working receives that benefit. So from my perspective, if there's adjustment during a workday but not a full closure, then that's not necessarily something that everyone would typically benefit
but
from.
that's really not an emergency closing. If a department's closing to attend a funeral, I mean, I understand that, but it's not an emergency closing like a closing for adverse weather conditions or some other things that you might close for.
I mean, how often does that happen?
I mean,
once a year
Yes.
for a funeral?
Yes,
Usually
it's not,
once a year.
not,
I
not a
mean,
significant amount.
I wouldn't really worry about it, but I mean, I don't think anyone's feel like they're slighted if everybody has to go to a funeral or wants to go to a funeral for
Now,
ex-employee.
the other
like
problem that we've experienced,
Mhm.
and part of that is, we have a 2-hour delay.
Mhm.
I have a shift, I'm working a night shift. Do I deserve the 2-hour delay on my night shift? And that's what we're trying to address, is that the delay or early closure, how far-ranging should that effect be?
Well, I guess it's primarily the police department, right? Now, how's it work now, chief?
Well, it's been this way since I've been here. So say it's a 2-hour closure, then the night shift guys would get that 2 hours, which at the time was time and a half. They completed for time and a half. I was thinking it's calm if they're not actually working. But they get 2.5 hours or 2 hours, they get 2 hours time and a half. Or makeup. If they're working during the closure, then they get time and a half. So, for example, if the office closes for 4 hours, half the day, then the night guys will get 4 hours comp.
Not time and a half, but comp.
Not time and a half, but if they're working at the closure, they get time and a half because they gotta do work.
And that's the way you've been. I don't know.
Well, this is only a discussion item today.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I know, but
Well, I'm in favor of leaving things like they are, except I don't like the idea of if I schedule a vacation day, I'll lose it because I made a bad choice.
well, they don't now. Or do they now?
No.
So.
Yeah, well, they're talking about making a change here. I don't wanna make that change.
No, I'm not, but you say if we leave it as it is for right now, they're not
Okay,
losing
then
that.
let's
They're not
leave it.
currently charged
They're
their
not
vacation
currently
day.
charged their vacation. Can we bring it back for a work session, Steve?
Yes, sir.
And maybe talk about it?
Yes, sir.
Because these might be things that have small, like, financial impact on the town, but, you know, it could be a big issue for someone, morale, you know, so.
Mr. Bodkin, you have anything to report?
Yes, sir. Good evening, Mayor and Council. Wanted to provide you with brief updates on 2 items. The first is the petition for writ of election. It must be filed within 15 days of any vacancy on council. Air petition and accompanying documents were finalized earlier today, and they'll be delivered to the Page County Circuit Court for filing by the end of the day tomorrow. Once the court issues the writ, that should set the mechanics into motion for the special election for the vacant position to be held this November. The second item is related to the completion of construction on Allison and Frontier Drive. As you saw earlier, those roads currently conclude with dead ends at Lord Fairfax's property line. Mr. Crispin and I have put together an agreement that you should have a copy of that would allow public use of the college's parking lot as shown on that attached plat without the town needing to accept ownership, maintenance, or any type of potential liability for that area. We've come up with that license agreement that's designed to accomplish those goals. We wanted to get it before you tonight to answer any questions you might have before it's submitted to the college for their initial review.
Anybody have any questions? Council?
No, I don't think so, Jason, no.
I guess
Thank
we'll
you
see
all.
that in the future. All right. Anything else, Jason?
No, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. I don't really have any announcements. A couple things I want us to consider. I would like to get your all's opinion on a retreat. I don't think we've done that for the last
Mayor,
several years.
can I make a comment first?
Certainly.
Before you start making yours?
It says mayor's comment.
It does, number, what, 11 before 12? I don't know.
Well, okay, I'm sorry, Ron, you're right, I did miss that, yeah, go ahead, sorry. Please, go right ahead. I apologize profusely.
I just want to
Go
get,
Beggars.
I just want to say something because
1,000 pardons.
we're starting the year 2021, Mayor, and that we need words of hope and assurance, in my opinion. That life's been pretty difficult for lots of people in this country, and I'm hoping to say that the town citizens will know that the council is going to try and bring people together, as we've been doing, that we're happy that a lot of businesses are opening on Main Street, and the others are in the planning stages. We're proud that the Parks and Recs can pull off events at Thanksgiving, Halloween, and Christmas when other areas couldn't. Makes us look really good. I feel truly safe living here, and I think that's got a lot to do with the professional police department we've got, and I thank Bo for that. And I think that the fact that we're doing live feeds and lots of people are watching us keeps the transparency of government that we've been striving for. And that's something I want everybody to know that we want to continue to do. And I think we're in good hands with Jerry. So just wanted to say that before we got on too far.
Thank you, Mon, very nice,
You're welcome.
very nice remarks, thank you.
Very nice.
So, we're back to the retreat. What do y'all think about having, what are y'all's thoughts on the retreat?
Tell me about what you want to do on this retreat.
Well, I mean, right, I mean, it's very open as to what we do, very flexible. I think we've normally done it on a Saturday morning. Has anybody been?
Yeah, we used to do them, we did several, I don't remember the day we did them on.
We
but
did one about maybe 7 or 8 years ago.
Yeah, over in Woodstock, I think we went over there and did it. Of course, now with the COVID, I don't know where we're gonna find a location, but typically they're done away from our normal setting. They're still public meetings, but typically the press has been respectful of the fact that we wanna hold a retreat and meet outside of our normal setting here, but if they wanna cover it, they can, and it's just used as to talk about goals for our upcoming year, to discuss certain things that we think would demand our immediate attention. A lot of councils use it for organizational, councils that have committees, organize their committees at those types of things. So, I mean, they're beneficial. It's a little different atmosphere and just more casual way of meeting and discussing things, so.
You thinking the Greenbrier for the weekend?
Yeah.
Better than Well, well, you're leaving, I mean, you can't come up.
We'll bring you, Mayor.
I'll be your secretary.
Okay, all right.
It doesn't have to be, I mean, it could be,
It could be here, right?
we could be here, yeah. I mean, we don't have to do it anywhere else. I mean, Steve, I'm sure Front Row's done it, and they do it different places, I'm sure.
We've done it in cabins and we've done it at town hall.
Yeah, so, I mean, if it's something people think, I mean, that's the way they're typically done.
You know, I think it's a good idea for us to get away. I think probably we want to do it like on a Saturday morning, maybe start at 9, try to finish at 1 or 2, maybe go through lunch, but certainly not much too late into the afternoon. Again, as Jerry says, just talk about maybe some goals and objectives and things we want to get done in our term. And I've looked around, I've talked to the MEMSA, they'll be glad to have us. Plenty of room up there to spread out. And just wanted your all's opinion.
Sounds good to me. I mean, I think that'd be an effective thing for us to do as a council. It's not something we've done, so, especially with sort of a new beginning here right now, it'd be a good timing for it.
I'm not opposed to it at all. I think it's a good idea.
I think as long as it's local, I'd feel a little better being right in and around Luray, so that sounds good to me.
Again, I've got the Memson in mind, but if somebody else has a different spot or better, I think we need to get away from here. I think probably we need to, a more relaxed atmosphere.
It's fine with me, yeah.
And I'm looking at probably late January, early February, depending on how the vacancy, how we work on that.
Yeah.
Right? So about any other council comments, since I missed that?
I would
Yes,
just like
sir.
to get a chance, but publicly congratulate first you, Mayor. I think it's going to be an honor working with you as a mayor.
Thank you, Jay.
And our two new council members, Jason and Ligon, and Joey, it's great to have you back, as always.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Do we need a recess, or y'all want to keep going?
Well, I guess we're gonna go into closed session then.
Unless y'all want to recess, whatever.
I'm fine with that.
Everybody good to keep
Fine,
going?
yeah.
All right, okay. So we need a motion to go into closed session.
Mayor, I move the town council convene and go into closed meeting for the purpose of discussion or consideration of the disposition of publicly held real property where discussion in an open meeting would adversely affect the town's bargaining position or negotiating strategy as authorized by section 2.2, 3711A3 of the Code of Virginia, and for the purpose of discussion, consideration, or interviews of prospective candidates for employment, assignment, appointment, promotion, performance, demotion, salaries, disciplining, or resignation of specific officers, appointees, or employees of any public body as authorized by section 2.2, 3711A1 of the Code of Virginia. The subject matter is a possible disposition of publicly held real property, specifically 36 West Main Street, and to review applications for the vacant council seat.
All right.
Second that, I guess?
Yes, that's
Second,
roll call.
do roll call?
Second. Danielle?
Mr. Vickers?
Yes.
Mr. Gyro?
Yes.
Mr. Pettit?
Yes.
Mr. Sowers?
Yes.
Mr. Webb?
Yes.
Thank you all. Thank you for coming.
I got you. See you.
the closed meeting be adjourned and the Luray Town Council reconvene in open session.
I second that.
Mr. Vickers?
Yes.
Mr. Sharrow?
Yes.
Mr. Pettit?
Yes.
Mr. Sowers?
Yes.
Mr. Webb?
Yes.
I move that with respect to the just completed closed session and to the best of each member's knowledge, only public business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements under the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, and only such public business matters as were identified in the motion by which the closed meeting was convened were heard, discussed, or considered in the meeting of the town council.
I'll second that.
Mayor Altmeyer?
Yes.
Mr. Vickers?
Yes.
Mr. Sharrow?
Yes.
Mr. Pettit?
Yes.
Mr. Sowers?
Yes.
Mr. Webb?
Yes.
Meeting adjourned.
Good job on that.
Outstanding.